Our guest, Mike Bako, he is the sports editor for the website, The Daily National. And you heard that, Mike, and I guess the question is that Coach Boeheim says, look, this thing was investigated back in 2005, and the university found out that these allegations were unfounded, and the cops said the statute of limitations had already expired. So why now?
Well, why now is because this second victim, alleged victim, Mike Lang, is coming out. He is the stepbrother of Bobby Davis, and now there's some sort of corroboration to the initial story. So that's why this is now in the news. This is now why ESPN actually went to air with this story. They had said that in 2003 they had become aware of this, but they were not ready to go on air and make these claims public because there wasn't a corroborating witness. Now there appears to be. Mike Lang went on air last night on ESPN to say that he too was a victim of this alleged molestation, sexual abuse. So that's why these allegations are now coming out.
But you can imagine, Mike, that a lot of people now are questioning the timing here, thinking that maybe this sounds like a knee-jerk reaction to Penn State, and that maybe Syracuse is doing this because they don't want to be like Penn State, getting, accused of sweeping this whole thing under the rug.
Well, they can't be accused of sweeping it under the rug. They did an internal investigation a few years ago in 2005. They went to some of those alleged witnesses that Davis had told them will corroborate his story, and they did not corroborate the story. So that's why nothing happened to Bernie Fine at the time. That's why nothing moved forward with this story at that time. So now they are reinvestigating. They're putting Fine on leave. So they did their due diligence at the time. The police did their due diligence. They said that statute of limitations unfortunately had run out after 5 years. So unlike the Penn State situation, all along the way, the proper steps and the proper channels were followed.
Yeah, and unlike the Penn State situation, there wasn't a third party who was an eyewitness, and we should also be noted the accuser in this case, Mike, also apparently owes Bernie Fine some money, and there was some bad blood here in the past.
There are those things that are going back and forth, and you certainly have to wonder about the motivation. The motivation might be because he had been thinking about the Penn State scandal, said that he wants to come out at this time, but there also could be financial reasons. You never really know why this is coming to light right now, but again, going back, Penn State did not cover themselves when the allegations against Sandusky came along, but Syracuse can go back and say that they did everything in their power. And certainly Jim Boeheim, a great advocate of Bernie Fine, has come out and vehemently said, as Eric Shawn reported, that these are all lies. He is going on record as saying that these are complete lies. He never saw anything like this, never saw anything on road trips. He never saw Bobby Davis in Bernie Fine's hotel room, as he alleges.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting to note that back in 2005, the Syracuse police chief was actually a former Syracuse basketball player. Mike Bako with the Daily National. Mike, good of you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, on to Capitol Hill now, where the House has just rejected a proposal